I'm Fred.
And I'm Linda.
With New Venture, New Day. We have an update on our Westward Ho journey, day 9. We've spent a couple days in Moab now. Yesterday we were at Arches. Today we are at Canyonland. We saw a lot of sights here, some similar to what you see in Arches, but some dramatically different. And it's certainly worth a stop. If you only have one day, I'd go to Arches, but if you have a couple of days, I would take this in as well. And we've got a lot of highlights to share with you, so pull on your hiking shoes and let's get started. The drive from Moab to Canyonlands is about 32 miles total, 11 miles on US 191 past Arches National Park to Utah 313, which will then take you into Canyonlands and up to the Island in the Sky Visitor Center. There are signs along the way to show you when it's busy what your expected wait time would be to get into the park. We're pulling in at about 8:30 in the morning. Quite a few people and vehicles have already accumulated here at the visitor site. And the first thing we did was take a walk across the road to take a look at the first viewpoint in the park. There were already people further out on the trail, looking back to Moab over the canyon and a view of the mountains in the distance. We could tell right away that we would be looking at some very beautiful scenery and views over the next few hours. From this vantage point, you can see the trail that you can take immediately after entering the park. It's all rough dirt road, switchbacks. It's for four-wheel drive only. Something noted at the site by this sign and clearly visible as you look off in the distance is the impact of air pollution on the views you see in the canyon. Before continuing our journey through the park, we took a quick stop in the visitor center. It has a lot of interesting information. Displays are well done and give you a very clear idea of what the park is made up of and things you should look for in particular as you travel through the park. We found this to be consistent with the other parks we have visited. A lot of good interactive displays and complete explanations of things. And it has a great gift shop as well. We found a couple things. The drive to our next stop was just over a mile, went quickly, very nice stretch of road here. You can see on the map also where that dirt trail starts as you enter the park. And our next stop was the Shafer Canyon Viewpoint. Very interesting site. First little hike of the day down this trail to that mesa spot. Here's a quick look back at the parking area. From where we are on the trail so far, there's our vehicle up there. Not too many of them yet at this point. A look down from the mesa area into the canyons. You can see some of the dirt trails from this view. This mesa is just an excellent viewing platform to walk around and see all the sights of the valley and the canyon below. The Shafer Canyon story is a very interesting story, like so many of the others. These roads were used originally by the Shafer family when they ranched in this area to move cattle from the lower canyon up to the higher locations, cattle and sheep, other livestock, and it was not an easy journey. A lot of the livestock was lost. Now it's a road that people use to get down into the canyons. Motorcycles appear to be a very popular method for getting around in the canyon. I certainly wouldn't take this on myself, but if you are a dirt bike enthusiast, it's probably a lot of fun. Again, a very excellent vantage point to take pictures of these things. Some motorcycles coming from the other direction. And it's not just motorcycles. Larger vehicles like this appears to be a four-wheel drive Jeep heading down into the canyon. Pretty rugged drive. I wouldn't want to attempt it with our vehicle. And there's not a lot of room to meet people on these roads. It's amazing how vast this place is. We continued our journey with a roughly 5-mile drive to the Mesa Arch. At this location, there were more vehicles. It was a little harder to find a place to park by this time of the day. Started out down one of the trail options that were available at this location. It was starting to get warm out. And there are still flowers and other cactus growing in this location. And as we approached the arch, there were several people already sitting in the arch, taking a look at the view beyond. It's all rock here. It's amazing, there's still some plants, and the view through the arch, again, is fantastic. You can see the canyon below. It's amazing how these things are formed.
Oh my gosh. Are they cute? Oh, what are my feet doing though? Okay. Okay. There's claw marks in.
And there are smaller spots where there are breaks in the rock where you can peer through the arch. I got a shot of a couple of those. And another shot of the valley down below, canyon and the roads. Up next was the Buck Canyon Overlook, about a 3.5-mile drive from the Mesa Arch. Excellent viewing and photography opportunity from this overlook. And it talks about all the tracks in the canyon from the mining era that has now since stopped, and most of those roads are gone, but you can still see traces of them down in the canyon below. Something we found very useful to have around when we're traveling in arid country like this. Have some salty snacks once in a while, and take your water, bottle of water, and mix in some electrolytes. That has helped us get through the heat and the sun different times. Easy to do, just take your pack, pour it in there, shake it up, and share a bottle of that. Maybe have some salty potato chips, and you're back in business. It's time for a quick break in this video to take a moment and thank you for watching up to this point before we head on to our next stop. If you've enjoyed the video up to this point, click like and please consider subscribing. There's a subscribe button in the lower right corner of the screen to make it easy for you to do that. We have a lot more videos coming up. We're on day 9. In a couple more days, we'll be halfway through our 25-day Westward Ho journey. There are a lot more videos to come. Some of the days will require 2 parts to cover everything we saw in that particular location. And by being subscribed, you'll be notified when those videos come out, so you'll be sure and not miss them. With that, it's time to get on to our next stop. We are at the end of the road here at Grand Viewpoint, and the place is packed. I see that they have even added some graveled parking at the end. So even this park, just like Arches yesterday, gets full very fast. It's probably not even 11 o'clock in the morning yet. As we arrived, there was a geology talk underway with one of the park rangers. We got there just for the tail end of that talk. Some interesting information. Excellent signage here as well, describing what we were looking at and how the canyons get formed over time, and a new canyon starting out off in the distance in the view from this vantage point.
Would they have found him?
And there is a 2-mile trail from the observation point you can take to get a better view of the canyon.
Oh, it's over here.
From Buck Canyon, we backtracked about 8 miles to the Upheaval Dome up in the northern end of the park. We're going to take the easy trail today, and we're going to just take a look at the first overlook. Typical of the other trails, we start out on rock. Although many of the trails have steps, they are of varying height and sometimes quite tall and rugged. So you need to be prepared to handle that if you're going to take these trails. You need to be able to make your way up what can sometimes be slightly slippery rock depending on the time of day and loose sand on them. Once there, we scaled up the rock to take a look at the view of the Upheaval Dome. Another gorgeous view out over the canyon and the area in the distance. And a sign describing the mystery of how this was formed, and they're not sure how it was formed, but there are some theories. Still a very fascinating thing to look at. Sometimes the hike back down to the parking area can be difficult because you've got to hold yourself back. You got gravity pulling you down. We're leaving the park about 1:20, probably be about 1:30 when we leave. We got here about 8. That'll be a 5.5 hour trip into the park. On our way back to Moab from Canyonland, we turned off on the road to Potash, about 15-mile road. Follows along the Colorado River through a deep canyon, encountering a lot of dune buggies out here traveling the highway. Looks like they're going to do some off-roading. A lot of trees down here because we are along the river. Colorado River's pretty brown. Can't see it right from here, but this is the canyon that follows. We're on our way back to Moab. Went part way up on the road to Potash. A lot of people along this road, a lot of pull-offs, camping areas, a lot of things to look at. So again, another interesting place that doesn't cost you anything to visit when you are in the area of Moab. I want to give this a look as well. Great rock formations all along this route. On the way back, we got a much better view of the river as it winds through the canyon, as we're taking a look at the rocks along both sides of it. That wraps up our Day 9 visit to Canyonlands National Park, just outside of Moab, Utah, just a little bit up the road from the Arches National Park that we went to the day before. It was a fun visit. A fair amount of hiking, and if you want to do even more hiking, there are quite a few trails you could take, and if you're really adventurous, there's that dirt road we looked at, and you can take a drive on that if you have a vehicle that's appropriately set up to handle that kind of road. We're certainly enjoying our Westward Ho adventure. It's not the first time we've been out west, but this is the first time we've taken a deep dive into some of these national parks. And it's kind of a sampler for us as well, because someday we're going to go back to these and spend a little bit more time in them and do some more of the hiking and see some more of the detailed sites. Making these videos is going to help us plan those trips in the future, and they might be useful for you if you're planning a trip to see some of the same area of the country, particularly southern Utah. Once again, I want to thank you for watching this video, and please click like and consider subscribing if you've enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the remaining videos in our Westward Ho adventure. Enjoy your travels and take care.